African continent already riddled with the consequences of past military interventions, West Africans are again faced with the fear of another war. The Western-backed ECOWAS is threatening to intervene militarily in Niger, a country already gripped by insecurity and security threats since 2011.
The West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS has ordered the activation of its standby force over a coup in Niger on July 26th. Now, after a summit of its heads of state in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, the bloc pledged to enforce sanctions and travel bans on those preventing the return to power of democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum.
So recent events in Niger Republic have reignited discussions on the use of military force to achieve political objectives. In 2011, NATO forces with the support of France, the US and some Arab countries intervened in Libya and provided support to the rebels under the pretext of protecting the civilians.
Support of an international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
It has been 10 days since Mr. Obama ordered U.S. forces into combat in Libya. Nearly 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched, more than 1,600 airstrikes. And
the aftermath of the intervention has been grim for not just Libya, but for the entire Sahel region. Now, since 2011, when chaos in Libya scattered fighters throughout the Sahel region, including in the neighboring countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria. The conflict has killed thousands of people across the region and displaced more than 2.8 million others, leading experts to call the Sahel region the global epicenter of jihadist violence. Memories of the disastrous aftermath of the Libyan intervention still lingers, raising the question, why would ECOWAS even contemplate military actions despite the specter of such failures? Resonates across the globe. Libya, Iraq, Somalia, each a stark reminder of the suffering inflicted upon innocent civilians, and the exacerbation of insecurity and the displacement of millions from their homes. For instance, the 1992-93 United States-led military operation in Somalia, supposedly a humanitarian and peacekeeping efforts, remains a testament to the consequences of interventions. Instead of stability, it left behind a legacy of turmoil. NATO bombing said to be for the purpose of democracy and the protection of civilians, indiscriminately claimed lives of thousands, not only in Libya, but across the Sahel, leaving scars that continue to afflict Libya and the Sahel region at large. In the aftermath, the international community witnessed the horrors of the military intervention. But see, people of Libya and the Sahel actually lived through this experience. They were not spectators. They experienced having their lives turned upside down. In solidarity with Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali released a statement condemning the sanctions, stating this will increase the suffering of an already impoverished population. They also condemned the possibility of a military intervention, stating plainly that all military interventions against Niger will be considered equivalent to a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali. Guinean President Bangura also rejected the sanctions and military interventions levied against Niger. Bangura was unequivocal in his stance against imposing sanctions or restoring to military force as a means to addressing the current political situation in Niger. With the expiration of the deadline that was set by ECOWAS, Algeria also affirmed its categorical rejection of any military intervention on its southern border. Outright rejection by neighboring countries of military intervention implies that if Western-backed ECOWAS nations, including Nigeria, Benin,
Ivory Coast and Senegal were to provide soldiers with such an intervention, it would potentially lead to internal conflict within the region.
The NATO intervention in Libya offers a valuable case study from which we can derive important lessons as Africans. The aftermath of Gaddafi's overthrow had far-reaching consequences, particularly in the Sahel region. The intervention led to the proliferation of arms and the emergence of extremist factions that were once supported and armed by the NATO. The question arises as to whose interests are truly being served by engaging in such a conflict. Are the efforts driven by a genuine concern for the people of Niger? Or is the underlying motivation tied to the economic ties of countries like France, the United States, and the European Union in the region? Should we, as Africans, neglect to glean insights from the numerous lessons of the past, there is a genuine concern that history will persistently echo its patterns. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.